Good evening, everyone. I want to talk to you about something we often overlook, something that determines not just who we are, but how far we'll go in life: self-respect. See, life is filled with choices. Choices about who we spend time with, what we give our energy to, and what battles we choose to fight. But let me tell you this: nothing is more important than the respect you have for yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. We all face situations where we're mistreated, disrespected, or undervalued. And sometimes, out of fear, comfort, or pride, we stay. But there comes a moment when you've got to ask yourself, what am I worth? What is my peace worth? You see, people who truly value themselves don't fight for attention, approval, or validation. They don't let the world tell them their worth. They know it. And because they know it, they're not afraid to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't honor that. It's easy to stay in toxic environments. Whether it's a job that drains your spirit, a friendship that's one-sided, or a relationship that's breaking you instead of building you, we convince ourselves that we'll endure it, that we can handle it. But why? Why spend another moment in a place where you're not respected? Walking away doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're strong enough to choose yourself. Life is short, and your time is precious. Don't waste it on situations or people that don't add to your life. Learn to walk away, not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of respect. For yourself. Respect is something you demand with your actions, not with your words. And one of the most powerful actions you can take is knowing when it's time to leave. When you leave behind what isn't serving you, what's meant for you will find its way to you. There's a peace that comes with walking away from things that weigh you down. It's the peace that says, I know my worth. I know what I deserve, and when you stand in that truth, you'll see doors open that you never even knocked on. So tonight I challenge you: respect yourself enough to walk away from whatever or whoever is no longer serving you. Walk away from the negativity. Walk away from the drama. Walk away from anything that dims your light. And in doing so, you will find that you haven't lost a thing. In fact, you'll have gained everything. This speech reflects the motivational, no-nonsense approach typical of Denzel Washington, encouraging confidence, self-worth, and personal growth without ever mentioning him directly. How does this feel to you? Self-respect is at the core of every aspect of our lives. It determines how we carry ourselves, how we allow others to treat us, and ultimately how we approach the world. When you have a strong sense of self-respect, you operate from a place of confidence and clarity, making decisions that reflect your true worth. Without it, you risk compromising your values and settling for less than you deserve. Self-respect is about recognizing your intrinsic value as a person, independent of external factors like success, approval, or validation from others. It's an internal compass that guides you in determining what you will and will not accept in your life. It teaches you to set boundaries, whether in your personal relationships, your career, or even with yourself. When you respect yourself, you don't allow people to mistreat you, undervalue you, or push you into situations that compromise your dignity. Think of self-respect as the foundation of a building. If the foundation is weak or unstable, the entire structure is at risk of collapsing. Similarly, if your self-respect is shaky, every other area of your life becomes vulnerable. You may find yourself in unhealthy relationships, staying in jobs that don't fulfill you, or making choices that go against your better judgment because you're seeking approval or acceptance from others. But when that foundation is strong, you are unshakable. You stand firm in who you are and what you deserve. Having self-respect also means being accountable to yourself. It means holding yourself to a standard that reflects the person you want to be, not just in the eyes of others, but in your own eyes. This includes taking responsibility for your actions, keeping your word, and striving to live in alignment with your values. It's about understanding that your worth is not conditional on outside factors, it's inherent. When you respect yourself, you prioritize your well-being, both physically and mentally. You make choices that honor your health, your peace, and your happiness. This might mean saying no to certain people, opportunities, or situations that don't serve your best interests. It might mean walking away from a job that doesn't align with your passions, or distancing yourself from a relationship that no longer nurtures you. Whatever the case may be, self-respect empowers you to put yourself first without feeling guilty about it. Moreover, self-respect influences how others perceive and treat you. When you walk with self-respect, people notice. They see that you value yourself, and in turn, they're more likely to value you as well. You set a standard for how you expect to be treated, and people tend to rise to meet that standard. But it all starts with you. If you don't respect yourself, you can't expect others to do so. Self-respect isn't about arrogance or pride. It's about having a deep understanding of your worth and acting in ways that protect and honor that worth. It's about knowing that you deserve to be treated with dignity and refusing to settle for anything less. When you cultivate self-respect, you attract better relationships, make wiser decisions, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life, because everything you do stems from a place of self-love and self-worth. Life is full of choices. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, we're constantly faced with decisions, some small, others monumental. The choices we make shape our reality, determine our path, and reflect who we are as individuals. This power to choose is one of the greatest gifts we have. It gives us control over the direction of our lives, allowing us to navigate the world based on our values, desires, and boundaries. But with this power comes responsibility, and the choices we make carry significant consequences, both for ourselves and for those around us. One of the most important realizations we can have is that we are never truly stuck in any situation. While it may feel like external circumstances limit us, we always have the ability to choose how we respond to those circumstances. This mindset is liberating. It shifts us from a position of helplessness to one of empowerment. No matter how difficult or challenging a situation may seem, there is always a choice to be made, even if that choice is as simple as deciding how we view or react to the situation. In our relationships, for instance, we can choose who we surround ourselves with. The people we let into our lives have a profound impact on our emotional and mental well-being. When we choose to associate with people who uplift, support, and encourage us, we create an environment that fosters growth and positivity. On the other hand, if we allow ourselves to stay in relationships where we are disrespected, belittled, or taken for granted, we are actively choosing to remain in a toxic environment. We may convince ourselves that we have no choice but to stay, but the truth is that we always have the option to walk away, even if it feels difficult or uncomfortable. The same applies to our professional lives. We can choose how we invest our time and energy. If we are in a job that drains our passion and leaves us feeling unfulfilled, we can decide to make a change. It might not happen overnight, but we can begin to take steps toward finding work that aligns with our values and brings us a sense of purpose. Staying in a job simply because it's familiar, or because we fear the unknown, is still a choice, and it's one that can keep us from reaching our full potential. Even when faced with challenges beyond our control, such as illness, loss, or external hardships, we can still choose how we respond. We can let those challenges defeat us, or we can choose to learn from them, grow stronger, and use them as fuel for our future. Our ability to make choices in difficult times defines our resilience and shapes our character. It's also important to recognize that not choosing is itself a choice. When we avoid making decisions out of fear, indecision, or complacency, we are still making a choice. And often, the consequences of inaction can be just as impactful as the consequences of action. By failing to choose, we allow circumstances to dictate our lives, surrendering control to the whims of fate rather than taking charge of our destiny. Ultimately, our lives are the sum of the choices we make. Each decision, no matter how small, is a step in the journey of self-discovery and personal growth. We have the power to steer our lives in the direction we want, but it requires us to be intentional about the choices we make. Whether it's the people we associate with, the opportunities we pursue, or the way we handle adversity, every choice is an opportunity to create the life we desire. The freedom to choose is both a privilege and a responsibility, one that we must take seriously if we want to live authentically and fully. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful realizations you can have. It's about understanding your intrinsic value, not based on what others say about you, not determined by your achievements or failures, but rooted in the simple fact of who you are. When you truly know your worth, you carry yourself differently. You stand tall in your decisions, you're unwavering in your boundaries, and you're confident in what you bring to the table. Self-worth isn't something that's given to you by others. It's not a validation you receive from the outside world. It's an internal understanding that no matter what, you are enough. This knowledge doesn't mean you're perfect, nor does it imply that you don't have room for growth and improvement. Rather, it's a recognition that at your core you deserve respect, love, and dignity simply because you exist. When you embrace this truth, you stop seeking validation from external sources, because you no longer need someone else's approval to feel complete. This deep understanding of your value also affects the way you set boundaries. People who don't know their worth often struggle to say no. They overextend themselves, agree to things they don't want to do, or allow others to cross their boundaries because they're afraid of rejection or conflict. But when you know your worth, you're able to assert your boundaries without guilt or fear. You understand that protecting your time, energy, and mental health isn't selfish, it's necessary. Furthermore, knowing your worth influences the opportunities you pursue. Many people limit themselves, either consciously or unconsciously, because they don't believe they deserve success or happiness. They may hesitate to apply for a promotion, start a business, or chase their dreams because they've been conditioned to believe they're not good enough. But when you know your worth, you approach life with confidence. You don't settle for less because you understand that you are capable of more. You don't doubt your ability to achieve your goals because you trust in your own potential. In relationships, knowing your worth prevents you from accepting toxic or unhealthy dynamics. You won't stay with someone who disrespects you, manipulates you, or treats you poorly because you understand that you deserve better. You recognize that being alone is better than being in a situation that compromises your self-respect. You become selective about who you let into your life, choosing only those who align with your values and treat you with the respect you deserve. Ultimately, knowing your worth allows you to live authentically. You stop performing for others, trying to fit into molds that don't suit you, or bending over backward to meet other people's expectations. You live in alignment with who you truly are because you understand that your worth is not conditional on anyone else's opinion. You are worthy simply because you exist, And when you embrace that, you unlock the freedom to live a life that reflects your true self. In life, we often encounter situations where we are disrespected, undervalued, or taken for granted. Whether it's in a personal relationship, a work environment, or even among friends, there are times when we find ourselves in places where our worth isn't recognized or appreciated. It can be challenging to deal with such situations because we might convince ourselves to endure them thinking things will get better, or because we've grown comfortable. But staying in a situation where you are disrespected is not only harmful to your self-esteem, it's also a reflection of how much you value yourself. When we allow ourselves to remain in a disrespectful environment, we are, in essence, accepting that behavior as normal. We might tell ourselves that it's not a big deal, or we may rationalize the disrespect as a one-off incident. But the truth is, the more we tolerate disrespect, the more we teach others that it's acceptable to treat us that way. We send a message that we are willing to compromise our dignity, and over time, this erodes our sense of self-worth. It's essential to recognize that disrespect comes in many forms. It can be overt, like being talked down to, dismissed, or insulted. But it can also be more subtle, like being consistently overlooked, ignored, or having your boundaries crossed. Regardless of how it manifests, the effect is the same. It diminishes your value in the eyes of others, and eventually in your own eyes. When you stay in such situations, you start to internalize that mistreatment as something you deserve, and that can have long-term consequences on your self-esteem and mental health. One of the most empowering things you can do for yourself is to draw a line in the sand and refuse to stay where you're disrespected. Walking away from toxic environments isn't about revenge or proving a point, it's about self-preservation. It's a declaration to yourself and to the world that you will not allow anyone to diminish your worth. It's about reclaiming your power and asserting that your time, energy, and presence are valuable, and you will not waste them in places where they are not respected. Walking away is not an easy choice. There are often emotional ties, financial dependencies, or simply the fear of the unknown that make it difficult to leave. We might think, what if I don't find better? Or what if I'm overreacting? But it's important to trust yourself in those moments. If something doesn't feel right, if you feel disrespected or undervalued, then your instincts are likely trying to protect you. Choosing to stay in those environments not only perpetuates the mistreatment, but it also robs you of the opportunity to find something better. When you walk away from disrespect, you create space in your life for more positive, healthy relationships and experiences to enter. You open yourself up to opportunities where you are valued, appreciated, and treated with the dignity you deserve. People who respect themselves don't beg for respect from others, they demand it through their actions. And sometimes, the most powerful action you can take is to leave behind what isn't serving you. This doesn't mean walking away in anger or with resentment. It means walking away with peace, knowing that you're making a choice that honors your self-worth. You don't need to stay in places that don't make you feel good about yourself. You don't have to endure disrespect to prove your strength or resilience. Real strength is in knowing when to step away, in recognizing that staying in a toxic environment does more harm than good. When you walk away from disrespect, you set a new standard for how you expect to be treated. You raise the bar not only for how others will interact with you, but for how you interact with yourself. Walking away is an act of self-love, one that says, I deserve better. And in doing so, you begin to attract better into your life. It's a powerful affirmation of your own worth and a testament to the fact that you will no longer settle for anything less than what you deserve. Walking away is often perceived as a sign of weakness or defeat, especially in a world that glorifies endurance and persistence. We're frequently told to stick it out, keep fighting, or push through the pain. And while there are times when perseverance is necessary and admirable, it's equally important to recognize when walking away is not an act of surrender but one of profound strength and courage. In fact, walking away from a situation, relationship, or environment that no longer serves you can be one of the most empowering decisions you can make. The act of walking away requires self-awareness and clarity. It demands that you assess the situation honestly, asking yourself whether staying is truly beneficial or if it's causing more harm than good. This kind of introspection takes courage because it forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself, about the people around you, and about the circumstances you're in. It's far easier to stay in familiar, albeit toxic, situations than to step into the unknown. Staying offers a false sense of security, even when it's hurting you, while leaving can feel daunting and uncertain. Choosing to walk away also requires emotional strength. When you walk away, you're often leaving behind more than just a bad situation. You might be walking away from hopes, dreams, or relationships you've invested in. There's a grieving process involved in letting go, even when you know it's the right decision. It's easy to mistake this sadness for weakness, but in reality, it's a testament to your strength. It takes immense bravery to choose your own well-being over the comfort of familiarity, especially when you've invested time, energy, or emotion into something that isn't working out. Moreover, walking away doesn't mean you're giving up, it means you're choosing yourself. It means you've reached a point where you recognize that staying in a situation is no longer healthy, productive, or in alignment with your values. This choice signifies that you respect yourself enough not to tolerate mistreatment, unhappiness, or stagnation. It's a declaration of your self-worth, a statement that says, "I deserve better, and I'm willing to step into the unknown to find it." In many cases, walking away is the most powerful form of action. While others may continue to fight losing battles, refusing to give up out of pride or fear, you've made the conscious choice to move forward. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's wisdom. You've evaluated the situation and realized that your energy is better spent elsewhere. You're not running away, you're making a decision to preserve your emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. That requires strength. Walking away can also be a strategic decision. When you step back from something, you gain perspective. You can see the bigger picture and evaluate your next steps with a clearer mind. Sometimes, removing yourself from a toxic or unproductive environment is necessary to allow growth and healing to take place. When you walk away, you give yourself the space to breathe, reflect, and reset. It's an opportunity to recalibrate your life and realign with what truly matters to you. There's also strength in choosing the harder path. Walking away often means taking the road less traveled, the one where you don't have immediate answers, the one where uncertainty looms large. But it's in these moments of uncertainty that we find our true resilience. It's when we step into the unknown that we grow the most. Walking away is an act of faith in yourself, in your ability to create a better future, and in the belief that there is something better waiting for you beyond what you're leaving behind. Finally, walking away is not a sign of failure but of growth. It signifies that you've learned enough about yourself and the situation to know that it's time to move on. It's an acknowledgement that staying in the same place will not serve your growth or happiness. Walking away is a powerful choice that reflects your commitment to your own well-being, your future, and your potential. In the end, strength isn't measured by how long you can endure a bad situation. It's measured by your ability to recognize when it's time to let go and walk away with grace, knowing that your worth isn't tied to what you leave behind, but to what lies ahead. Walking away is a courageous act of self-respect and empowerment, one that leads to greater freedom, peace, and fulfillment. Time and energy are two of the most valuable resources we have in life. Unlike money or material possessions, they are finite and non-renewable. Once spent, they cannot be regained, making it crucial to be intentional about how we use them. Recognizing the importance of time and energy allows us to focus on what truly matters and avoid wasting these precious resources on things that don't serve our well-being, growth, or happiness. One of the biggest challenges many of us face is learning to manage our time and energy effectively. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, saying yes to every request or invitation, overcommitting ourselves and spreading our energy too thin. We often feel the pressure to be constantly productive, to attend every event, or to meet the expectations of others. But when we do this, we often end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and drained. We spend our energy on tasks and people that may not align with our goals or values, leaving us with little left to devote to the things that truly matter to us. Protecting your time and energy starts with setting clear priorities. When you know what's most important to you, whether it's your career, family, personal growth, or health, you can begin to make decisions that reflect those priorities. This might mean saying no to certain opportunities, obligations, or people that don't align with your goals. It can be difficult to say no, especially if you're someone who wants to help others or avoid conflict. However, learning to protect your time and energy is an essential act of self-care. By saying no to the things that drain you, you're creating space for the things that nourish and fulfill you. We must also be mindful of how we spend our energy in our relationships. Relationships, whether personal or professional, require a significant amount of emotional and mental energy. When you invest your energy in positive, supportive relationships, you're more likely to feel uplifted and empowered. However, when you give your energy to toxic, draining, or one-sided relationships, it can leave you feeling depleted. It's important to evaluate the relationships in your life and ask yourself whether they are contributing to your well-being or taking away from it. Protecting your energy may mean distancing yourself from people who constantly bring negativity or drama into your life. Additionally, it's crucial to recognize that your energy is not limitless. Just as your body needs rest to recharge, your mental and emotional energy also need time to recover. When you constantly push yourself to be productive, to take on more than you can handle, or to meet the expectations of others, you're at risk of burning out. Burnout not only affects your mental and emotional health, but it can also have physical consequences, such as fatigue, illness, and a weakened immune system. This is why it's so important to be mindful of how you're spending your energy and to allow yourself time to rest and recharge. Time is another valuable resource that often slips through our fingers without us realizing it. We might spend hours scrolling through social media, watching TV, or engaging in activities that don't bring us any closer to our goals or contribute to our happiness. While relaxation and leisure are important, it's easy to fall into the trap of wasting time on things that don't truly matter to us. Being intentional with your time means being aware of how you're spending it and making conscious choices about where you direct your attention. It's about focusing on the activities, people, and experiences that bring you joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. Another key aspect of protecting your time and energy is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Without boundaries, it's easy to let others dictate how you spend your time or to take on more than you can handle. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're being selfish, it means you're being responsible for your own well-being. By setting clear limits on your time and energy, you're ensuring that you have enough to give to the things that matter most. Ultimately, time and energy are finite resources that must be used wisely. When you become intentional about how you spend them, you create a life that aligns with your values and brings you closer to your goals. Protecting your time and energy is not just about saying no to what drains you, but also about saying yes to what fulfills and inspires you. The idea that actions speak louder than words is a timeless principle that resonates in every aspect of life. While words can be powerful and persuasive, they often lack the weight of genuine intention and commitment. Our actions reveal our true values, priorities, and character. In relationships, workplaces, and personal development, what we do holds more significance than what we say. This truth becomes especially evident when we consider the importance of respect both for ourselves and for others. When it comes to self-respect, it's not enough to merely declare that you value yourself. Your actions must reflect that belief. This means making choices that honor your worth and align with your values. For instance, if you truly respect yourself, you will set boundaries that protect your time and energy, ensuring that you don't allow anyone to treat you poorly. You won't tolerate disrespect or mistreatment, whether from friends, family, or colleagues. Instead, you'll actively seek out environments and relationships that uplift you and affirm your value. When your actions align with your self-respect, you send a powerful message to yourself and others. You refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. In professional settings, actions are often the ultimate measure of credibility and integrity. We can hear promises and commitments in meetings, but it's the follow-through that truly counts. If a colleague or leader makes a promise but consistently fails to deliver, trust erodes. Conversely, when individuals take action to fulfill their commitments, they build credibility and respect within their teams. This principle applies not only to work but also to personal relationships. Consistent, reliable actions foster trust and strengthen bonds, while empty promises lead to disappointment and disconnection. Moreover, our actions impact how we view ourselves. When we consistently act in ways that reflect our values, we cultivate a sense of integrity and confidence. For example, if you value health and wellness, but your actions contradict that by neglecting your physical and mental well-being, you may begin to feel a disconnect between your self-image and your reality. This can lead to feelings of guilt or inadequacy. On the other hand, when you make conscious decisions to engage in healthy habits, you reinforce your identity as someone who prioritizes their health. This alignment between your actions and your values strengthens your self-respect and enhances your overall sense of self-worth. Actions also have a profound effect on the people around us. When you consistently demonstrate kindness, support, and integrity, you inspire others to do the same. People are more likely to follow the example you set than to heed your advice or words. When you embody the qualities you wish to see in others, you create an environment of mutual respect and positivity. Conversely, if your actions convey negativity, disrespect, or dishonesty, you may inadvertently cultivate a toxic atmosphere that can harm relationships and diminish trust. The principle of actions over words is particularly relevant when it comes to conflict resolution and communication. In difficult conversations, it's easy to get caught up in what we say, attempting to convince or persuade others through our words. However, it's our actions that often communicate our true intentions. For example, if someone says they want to resolve a conflict but continues to behave defensively or dismissively, their actions contradict their words. This creates confusion and distrust. On the other hand, when individuals actively listen, seek understanding, and demonstrate a willingness to find common ground through their actions, they create a space for genuine dialogue and resolution. In summary, the idea that actions speak louder than words underscores the importance of living authentically and aligning our behaviors with our values. When we commit to acting in ways that reflect our self-respect and integrity, we not only enhance our relationships but also deepen our understanding of ourselves. This alignment fosters trust, strengthens connections, and inspires others to embrace similar values. Recognizing that our actions hold the power to influence both our lives and the lives of those around us empowers us to live more intentionally and authentically. Ultimately, it's through our actions that we create a life that truly reflects our worth and aspirations. The power of self-love is a transformative force that can significantly enhance our lives and shape our experiences. Self-love goes beyond mere self-acceptance. It's about recognizing your inherent worth, treating yourself with kindness, and prioritizing your well-being. When you cultivate a strong sense of self-love, it becomes a foundation upon which you can build a fulfilling and meaningful life. This powerful emotion influences how you interact with yourself and others, shaping your choices, relationships, and overall outlook. At its core, self-love involves treating yourself with the same compassion and respect that you would offer a close friend or loved one. It means acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses without judgment, understanding that you are worthy of love and care simply because you exist. This shift in perspective can be life-changing. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, harsh self-criticism, and feelings of inadequacy. They may hold themselves to unattainable standards, constantly comparing themselves to others and feeling that they fall short. However, when you practice self-love, you begin to break free from these detrimental patterns. Self-love encourages you to embrace your imperfections and view them as part of the human experience rather than flaws that need to be fixed. By acknowledging that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, you start to cultivate a sense of belonging and acceptance. This shift allows you to appreciate the uniqueness of your journey and recognize that you are enough just as you are. As a result, self-love fosters resilience and encourages you to pursue your passions, dreams, and aspirations without fear of judgment or failure. When you truly love yourself, you become more attuned to your needs and desires. This self-awareness enables you to make choices that align with your values and goals. For instance, if you value health and wellness, self-love will prompt you to prioritize activities that nourish your body and mind, whether it's exercising, eating well, or engaging in self-care practices. You'll become more inclined to set healthy boundaries, ensuring that you protect your time and energy from people or situations that drain you. In this way, self-love becomes an act of empowerment, allowing you to take charge of your life and make decisions that reflect your worth. Moreover, self-love enhances your relationships with others. When you cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself, you're more likely to approach your connections with others from a place of authenticity and respect. You won't seek validation or approval from others to feel worthy. Instead, you'll enter relationships with a sense of completeness. This mindset enables you to form healthier, more balanced connections where both parties feel valued and respected. You'll also be more capable of expressing your needs and feelings openly, leading to deeper emotional intimacy and understanding. Self-love also plays a crucial role in navigating challenges and setbacks. Life inevitably presents obstacles, and how we respond to them often reflects our level of self-love. When you practice self-love, you're more likely to approach difficulties with a sense of compassion rather than harsh judgment. You'll view setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning rather than as failures that define your worth. This resilience allows you to bounce back from challenges with a stronger sense of self, reaffirming your belief in your value regardless of external circumstances. Additionally, self-love can profoundly impact your mental and emotional health. Studies have shown that self-compassion and self-acceptance are linked to lower levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. When you prioritize self-love, you create a nurturing environment within yourself that fosters emotional well-being. You learn to silence the inner critic and replace it with a supportive inner voice that encourages and uplifts you. This shift in mindset can lead to increased happiness, improved self-esteem, and a greater sense of peace. Cultivating self-love is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing practice that requires intention and effort. It involves developing habits that reinforce your sense of worth, such as positive self-affirmations, journaling, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. Over time, these practices can help you create a more compassionate and loving relationship with yourself. In essence, self-love is a powerful catalyst for personal growth and transformation. By embracing your worth, treating yourself with kindness, and prioritizing your well-being, you lay the groundwork for a fulfilling life. Self-love influences every aspect of your existence, from your relationships to your choices and your emotional resilience. When you love yourself fully, you unlock the potential to live authentically, pursue your passions, and navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Embracing vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, yet it is one of the most courageous things a person can do. In a society that often prioritizes strength, resilience, and stoicism, vulnerability is frequently overlooked. However, it is through embracing vulnerability that we can foster deeper connections with ourselves and others, facilitate personal growth, and cultivate a more authentic and fulfilling life. At its core, vulnerability involves the willingness to expose your true self, including your fears, insecurities, and imperfections. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, even when it feels uncomfortable. Many people fear vulnerability because they associate it with being weak or at risk of being hurt. However, the truth is that vulnerability is a strength that requires immense courage. It means standing firm in your authenticity and embracing the uncertainty that comes with being open and honest about who you are. When you embrace vulnerability, you create space for genuine connections with others. Authentic relationships are built on trust and openness, and vulnerability is the gateway to building that trust. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you invite others to do the same. This mutual exchange fosters deeper understanding, empathy, and compassion. It creates an environment where people feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings, leading to richer, more meaningful interactions. In contrast, when we shield ourselves behind walls of fear or pride, we miss out on the beauty of connection and intimacy. Furthermore, vulnerability is integral to personal growth and self-discovery. By allowing yourself to confront your fears and insecurities, you open the door to self-reflection and insight. Embracing vulnerability means acknowledging areas where you may struggle, whether it's in relationships, career aspirations, or personal challenges. It encourages you to explore your emotions, confront past traumas, and learn from your experiences. This journey of self-exploration leads to greater self-awareness, resilience, and ultimately, a stronger sense of identity. In the context of pursuing your goals and aspirations, vulnerability plays a crucial role. Whether it's launching a new project, starting a business, or pursuing a passion, the fear of failure can be paralyzing. However, embracing vulnerability means acknowledging that failure is a part of the journey. It allows you to take risks and step outside your comfort zone, understanding that it's okay to stumble along the way. When you accept vulnerability, you recognize that the pursuit of your dreams is worth the potential for setbacks. Each failure becomes an opportunity for growth and learning, rather than a reason to retreat. Moreover, embracing vulnerability can enhance your emotional well-being. When you suppress your feelings or avoid expressing your true self, it can lead to anxiety, stress, and a sense of disconnection. By being vulnerable, you give yourself permission to feel and express a wide range of emotions. This emotional release is liberating. It allows you to process your experiences and heal from past wounds. Acknowledging and expressing vulnerability can reduce the burden of emotional baggage, leading to greater mental clarity and peace. Vulnerability also cultivates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will inevitably arise. When you embrace vulnerability, you develop the ability to adapt and cope with adversity. You learn that it's okay to ask for help, lean on others, and seek support when needed. This openness strengthens your support network and fosters a sense of community, reminding you that you're not alone in your struggles. In relationships, vulnerability fosters intimacy and connection. When partners are willing to share their vulnerabilities, they create a safe space for each other to express their true selves. This emotional intimacy strengthens the bond between individuals, allowing them to navigate challenges together with greater understanding and empathy. Conversely, when individuals guard their vulnerabilities, they may unintentionally create distance in their relationships, leading to misunderstandings and isolation. Embracing vulnerability is also about self-compassion. It means treating yourself with kindness when you experience discomfort or make mistakes. Instead of being self-critical, you learn to embrace your imperfections and recognize that they are part of being human. This self-compassion lays the foundation for a healthier relationship with yourself, reducing the fear of judgment and promoting a sense of inner peace. In conclusion, embracing vulnerability is a powerful act of courage that can transform your life. By allowing yourself to be open and honest about your true self, you foster deeper connections, facilitate personal growth, and enhance your emotional well-being. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to your strength and resilience. It opens doors to authenticity, intimacy, and the beauty of the human experience. Ultimately, embracing vulnerability empowers you to live a more fulfilling, connected, and meaningful life. Living authentically is one of the most profound ways to honor yourself and navigate the complexities of life. Authenticity involves being true to yourself, expressing your genuine thoughts and feelings, and aligning your actions with your values and beliefs. In a world that often pressures individuals to conform, compromise, or mask their true selves, embracing authenticity is an empowering choice that can lead to deeper fulfillment and a greater sense of belonging. At its core, living authentically requires self-awareness. It involves understanding who you are, what you stand for, and what truly matters to you. This self-awareness is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is a continuous journey of reflection, exploration, and growth. It means examining your beliefs, values, and passions and recognizing how they influence your choices and actions. When you have a clear understanding of yourself, you are better equipped to navigate life's challenges and opportunities with confidence. Authenticity also means embracing your uniqueness. Each person has their own distinct qualities, experiences, and perspectives that shape who they are. Instead of comparing yourself to others or striving to fit into societal molds, living authentically encourages you to celebrate your individuality. This celebration of self allows you to express your